Recent weeks. He's been teasing a little, though. What has prompted this?
Yeah, it feels like one of the worst kept secrets in football. The man himself has definitely been teasing us with this, batting away questions about his future for months, in truth. But sources have told Sky Sports News that Guardiola will be leaving this summer. That is despite him having a year left on his contract. Now, I will just say there still is no official confirmation from the club, but we've been told to expect the manager to leave after the final home game of the season here against Aston Villa, where still City could be celebrating another Premier League title. It would be Guardiola's 7th, even though Arsenal's win against Burnley last night makes that unlikely and puts a lot of pressure on the game tonight. And I think the fact we're in the midst of this title race, you can understand, can't you, why the club don't want to make any announcements officially on Guardiola's future while they're still fighting for the title. Obviously, they had the FA Cup final at the weekend, which was hugely important to their season. Winning a domestic cup double. Around that, Guardiola was asked plenty of questions about his future. He, frankly, quite forcefully told the BBC, for example, in their interview before the match, that he was going to be here next season. They put that out as a line before the match. Here's what he had to say to reporters, though, yesterday when he spoke about the game against Bournemouth, when there were questions around how he would like his legacy to be should he leave in the summer.
Have you ever thought about what kind of farewell you might want?
Sorry?
Have you ever thought about what kind of farewell you might want if you knew you were leaving?
Next, Ali. How would you amend that? So many times, I have one more year. Tell me, Sam.
When you leave here, whenever that is, would you like to be sort of what Johan Cruyff is to Barcelona? Would you like to be Manchester City's Johan Cruyff, basically?
Nobody's like Johan. It's a big compliment you say that, but nobody's like him. The charisma, personality. He changed the mentality for two clubs, Ajax and Barcelona, as a player and as a manager. So, but with a charisma that is impossible to replicate, and the self-confidence, and many aspects that he had, and it's impossible.
And look, Ben, we've got Enzo Maresca, who seems to be the favourite to replace Guardiola. Why could he be the right fit?
Yeah, it seems as though this is going to be Enzo Maresca's job to walk into when Guardiola does leave. There are lots of reasons why he is seen as the right man to take over, not least his relationship and history with Manchester City. He was here in charge of their academy side, the development side, winning Premier League 2 before going away for his first foray into management in Italy. That didn't quite work out, so he came back as part of Guardiola's coaching staff. He was his assistant when City had the best season in their history, winning the treble, emulating their rivals Manchester United. So that was in 2023 when they won Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League for the first time. Maresca, a key part of that. That's why Leicester City took him there. He helped them win promotion. That helps him get the Chelsea job. He won the Club World Cup there. So he has a track record of success. I think he's seen as someone who knows the fabric of the club. And as we've reported for a number of months, actually, when the club, Manchester City, started to make plans for the eventuality and possibility at that stage that Guardiola may leave this summer. Maresca was always one of the key candidates for that job because of that history and that track record of success, and also knowing the system. I think stylistically, I think there's a belief inside Manchester City that Maresca can come in and work with this hungry group of young players in a similar style, almost pick up the baton, because everyone is aware the difficulty in replacing great managers. Manchester United, you would argue, have still never really recovered from Sir Alex Ferguson leaving. I think the difference, though, from that situation is, if you remember, to when Sir Alex left, David Gill, who was such a key part of Manchester United's success off the field, he left in the same summer. Manchester City have already got that succession plan in place, in the sense that Djiki Begiristain, who was essentially the David Gill character, he left a year ago. Hugo Viana has had now a year to get into place, and it's also perhaps telling that Hugo Viana's long-time agent, George Mendes, is also the agent of Enzo Maresca. So there are plenty of reasons why Maresca is the right fit. For Manchester City, though, at the moment, it's all about Pep Guardiola. It's all about the end of the season. It's all about trying to win a Premier League trophy, because they have to go to a key game at Bournemouth tonight, and they have to win to try and keep that pressure on Arsenal and to try and keep that Premier League title fight going right down until the final day, when we expect Guardiola to be on the pitch and taking the celebrations and the adulation of his Manchester City fans, who have loved the last decade with him. It's a fascinating watch tonight, and it'll also be fascinating to see how the team respond to, obviously, the news that has come out in the last 24 hours of Pep leaving. So that's the headline news this morning. Sources telling us that Pep will leave this summer. 2 crucial games, though, in charge, starting tonight, and you can watch it all on Sky Sports main event from 7 o'clock. What a game in the title race this is. What a test as well, a trip to Bournemouth, who themselves are fighting for European football.